I wasn't honest and I need to own it. It is John Cheplack coming to you. And last week I was on a Zoom with Sisu and they were taking us through their product and they asked me what my favorite report was. And I said, out of the gates, the cash flow report. I want to know what is scheduled to close in June. I want to know what's scheduled to close in July. I want to know what's scheduled to close in August. I want to know what my buckets look like, and so that I'm always filling a bucket 90 days out. Like I want that bucket jam-packed, but guess what? That wasn't the truth. And I want to help you. If you're growing a brokerage or you're growing a team, one of the things that, if you don't know by now, I am absolutely the irrefutable #1 coach when it comes to recruiting and retention and driving productivity of those recruits. I'm talking about that space of moving people that move transactions, period. And if you want to grow a business and you want to drive a business, you need to get out of the transaction business and you need to get into the moving people business. So let me break this one report down to you that's super, super critical. And I want you to go back and do it immediately. Here's what it is. #1, how many people have you recruited year to date? Period. #2, what have their financial contributions been to the organization? So how many deals have they closed? What is their sales volume? What is their gross commission income? And what is your retained company dollar? What have you retained after paying them their portion of the commission? That needs to be the piece that you're watching at all times. Period. Because here's what I know after 34 years in the real estate business as an actual agent that delivered a result, as a branch manager that delivered a result, as an executive that delivered a result, and a coach that works with the absolute best in the world. #1 most critical activity for you to do to grow your revenues is recruiting. Let me share with you, through my years of experience as an operator, having to do budgets, performas, and projections, what you can typically count on is this, is that if you're looking at your historical data, now things could be a little bit different, and that's where you really need to work closely with a coach or consultant. Here's what typically happens, and I've seen it for, gosh, my math tells me 27 years now since I got into leadership in 1995, if my math is serving me correctly. I know I got in the business in 95. I'm just doing the math from 95 to 2022. Yes, that's 27 years. So here's what I know. When I'm sitting and I'm looking and I'm doing financial, I'm casting financials, and productivity. The bottom line, what I'll do, 2021 to me, I'm going to look at that number as a baseline. I'll adjust up 5% or down 5%, all things being equal. Now, we've been through some interesting times with the marketplaces, but typically that's what I'll do. See, the safe and responsible way to do projections and budgeting is to leave that number flat. Leave that number flat. And here's the reason why. Well, but John, I brought people on and they're going to do more in 2022. John, I brought people on and they left. John, I had people leave me that had been with me for years. I have found with empirical data, and I can talk to this as not only a business operator, but a coach and consultant, that number typically stays flat. And it's a responsible baseline to go with. Your growth is in people, period. You know, one of the funny stories that people always like to tell, well, Cheplack's only going to talk to you about recruiting. Yes, he is. And look at the numbers of Cheplack's people. We have the absolute highest concentration of the highest performing top teams in our community. Challenge me. Now, this isn't about I'm doing the work, they're doing the work, but we have the right focus. See, what you need to have to grow a real estate business is philosophy, methodology, and your technology. Too many people are caught up in the methodology and technology, and the philosophy is wrong. And that is the differentiator of why the most elite teams in North America are in our environment and continue to be for 3, 4, and 5 years. Our environment's unmatched because we have the philosophy right. So here's what you need to track. Okay, is if I'm looking at, and even right now, if you want to look at the next 12 months, okay, put a baseline for the past 12 months. that number. Now, here's what you may have to do as units are dropping, markets are slowing down a bit. You may have to do some projecting to compensate for that. But typically, in a normal world, what we're going to do is we're going to leave that baseline number from 2021 flat. My growth is going to be determined by the amount of people that I bring in and the production they contribute. I promise you, not only from a logical perspective of the numbers, you bring more people in, you onboard them correctly, you get them up and running, they contribute dollars to the organization that weren't there. Well, what they're also going to compensate for is contributing for the dollars that leave. I'm sorry, attrition is a part of the game. Period. That's where you apply pressure in your business. Now, let me take you from the scientific part of bringing people in, they do transactions and there are numbers, to the art of business. And here's where that piece comes into play. See, it's really challenging as a leader to lead top down. Go to your agents tomorrow and change all the policies. Let me know how that works out. They're independent contractors. See, companies grow and change from the bottom up. That means from the people that you hire. You've got to apply pressure from the bottom up. Good luck with these people that teach you, well, you just need to get 10 more deals a year out of your people that are doing 20 and you'll have 50% growth. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's not the truth. And most of it comes from people that have never done it, where their livelihood didn't depend on driving sales in a branch office, where their livelihood didn't depend on driving sales throughout multiple regions. You've got to be in it to be able to drive it and direct it. I've been in it. And the bottom line is this: you can't make a human being productive. You can only facilitate the condition for a human being to choose to be productive or choose not to be productive. Coaching and training is critical. Don't get me wrong. We have an agent training and coaching program that we're really, really proud of. And it's getting better and better and better, and it delivers results. But the bottom line is some of those agents that are getting trained and coaches that are with organizations right now, okay, they're going to leave that organization, go to another one. How are you compensating for that? Let's go squeeze more out of Sally and Susie that are with us. That is ridiculous. So here's the report that I want you to watch the absolute closest, and also give you tips on projecting your financials, your sales volume, and your units closed. It is bodies. And so now you can go take the empirical data of the last 12 months. Take a look at how many agents you brought in over the last 12 months, the entire body of agents. And that's going to include those that have left you, okay, from that body of agents, you brought on, and do the math. Math is the path, and it's really, really simple, okay? I brought on 100 agents. They closed 1,000 transactions. I know that if for every agent I bring on, I get 10 transactions. And guess what? That includes the 20 or 30 that may have left you of that 100. And left you is defined by either you let them go or they left you. See, count your attrition numbers truly. Operate from the truth. And then you've got baselines, and then your business is predictable. Your growth is in the people that you bring on. So what I want you to track and what I want you to do is go back. First of all, go back and look at 2021. How many agents did we bring on? Okay. What was the delivery of units closed, sales volume and gross commission income, and retained company dollar? Awesome. Now you've got a number per person that you bring on. On average, we generate this many units, this much sales volume, this much gross commission income, and this much retained company dollar. Now I have data where I can predict what's going to happen in the future. Now, some of the things that I might look at, and what I'm encouraging my clients to do is, like my great friend Anthony Lamacchia said, don't double down on recruiting, triple, quadruple down, because per person productivity may take a hit. Stands to reason. You know, if units go down in the markets like we're already seeing, okay, per person productivity is going to take a hit. Now, it will take some time for agents to drop out of the business, certainly, that can then apply pressure back to per person productivity. But the bottom line is bringing people in will determine where your growth is. Keep the last 12 months revenue numbers as a flat for projecting, and then put all of your growth numbers. If you want to grow by 20% or 30%, look to that coming from the agents that you recruit in. Track that number. Use that baseline from last year. What I want you to leave with is this. I want you to go back January 1 to today. We've hired this many agents. They've closed this many transactions. They've done this much sales volume. And this is our gross commission income, and this is our retained company dollar. Take a look. We're past mid-year because we're in a sales cycle. There's a sales cycle of recruiting. There's a sales cycle for home sales, all right? And so what I want you to do is I want you to take this check-in and see where are you at with your recruits, what are their contributions been? And then if you're lagging in your numbers for 2022, guess what? I know where to find them. People. And I've proven it. And I continue to. You can listen to the riffraff, or you can follow the results and the truth. This is the truth. I hope you found it really, really helpful, and understand that there's many parts of your business you need to be working on. It's never going to be perfect. It never is. Many people will tell me, well, I'm going to wait till this is just right. Keep waiting. Let the world and life pass you by. Keep bringing people in. Just be clear on the expectations. Don't sell them. Let people know what your flaws are. Let them know what really, really works while everyone else is full of puffery. You will win. How do I know? Because the people that I'm working with are winning, and we're winning together. I want you to win. Have a great day. Hope you found this helpful.